Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be talking about Stuart Russell and, all of his work on AI safety. We've got this really fascinating article called Stuart Russell, Advancing Ethical and Safe AI Systems. So much interesting stuff in here for anyone out there who's even a little bit interested in how AI is going to play out and how we make sure that it benefits us. Well, this is definitely the deep dive for you.
AI is such a hot topic right now.
Yeah.
But what's cool about Russell is that he really goes deep on how we can make sure that this powerful technology actually is a force for good, especially as we move toward, potentially super intelligent AI.
Super intelligent AI. I mean, it is exciting,
Yeah.
but also kind of scary if you think about it too much. And this article talks a lot about something called the control problem, which Russell seems to be really concerned about. So can you kind of explain what is this control problem?
So imagine for a second that you got this super powerful AI and you program it with a very simple goal to maximize the production of paper clips.
Yeah.
It's pretty harmless, right?
Yeah.
But now this AI gets so efficient that it starts turning literally everything on Earth into paper clips. I'm talking cars, trees, you name it.
Wow.
That's the control problem. Basically, this idea that AI could get so fixated on its goals that it ends up creating these unintended, really catastrophic consequences.
Okay, that paperclip example. Yeah, that one's definitely going to stick with me. I mean, I knew that AI was powerful, but
That's a whole one.
So how do we avoid turning our planet into a giant paperclip factory? What's Russell's solution?
His solution is something called human-compatible AI. And it's not just about making AI smart. It's about making sure it's compatible with our values, with human ethics, with how we think.
Okay, I am all ears. Tell me more about human-compatible AI. What are the key ingredients here?
So one of the first things that Russell argues is that AI shouldn't be locked in to these fixed goals. He talks about the need for what he calls uncertainty about objectives. So basically, AI needs to be able to constantly learn and adapt its understanding of what we humans actually value.
So it's less about, blindly obeying commands and more about a kind of collaboration between humans and AI.
Yeah, exactly. It's about working together to figure things out. Another key element is this idea of deference to human judgment, especially when you have these really complex situations that are morally ambiguous. We don't want AI just bulldozing ahead based on cold, hard logic. We need AI that can defer to human ethical judgment, after all. We're the ones who understand, the nuances of human experience.
Right. There are some things that I think algorithms just aren't equipped to handle. So flexibility and recognizing the importance of human judgment.
Got it.
What's the third element of this human-compatible AI?
The third key ingredient is continuous learning from feedback. What this means is that AI systems need to be able to constantly adjust their behavior based on human input. So they're always refining their understanding of what we want, of what we consider ethical, and what outcomes we're trying to achieve.
So it's like this ongoing conversation between humans and AI, where we're constantly teaching and guiding it. I love it. This is already blowing my mind. And earlier you mentioned that Stuart Russell, he isn't just a theorist. He's really out there trying to make these ideas a reality.
Yeah, he's not just writing papers. He's advising governments, the UN, all sorts of organizations on AI policy. He's really trying to embed these safety principles into how we develop and use AI in the real world.
That's impressive. Okay, let's bring this down to earth for a second. Why should the average person listening to this care about human-compatible AI? What's the so what factor here?
I mean, think about it. AI is already everywhere. It's the algorithms that recommend what we watch. It's in the systems that are starting to drive our cars. And as AI becomes more and more powerful, it's going to have an even bigger impact on everything, from jobs to healthcare to privacy. Russell's work is a wake-up call to make sure that AI is developed ethically and that it benefits all of humanity, not just a select few.
Yeah, it's starting to hit me that this isn't just about some far-off future. It's about the choices we're making right now and how those choices will shape the world that we all live in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what I appreciate about Russell is that he's not just doom and gloom. He believes that AI can be a force for good, that it can help us solve some of the world's biggest problems, but only if we get this human-compatible part right.
You've convinced me. We all need to be paying attention to this. So you mentioned that Russell is involved in public outreach. What's he doing to get these ideas out into the world?
Well, he's got this TED Talk on the control problem that millions of people have seen. He's also written for major publications like the New York Times, really trying to raise awareness about these complex AI issues.
Here's where it gets interesting.
He's arguing that it shouldn't be up to a small group of scientists and policymakers to decide the future of AI We all need to be a part of this conversation. We need to understand the risks and the benefits and advocate for the kind of AI future that we want.
I think a lot of people might think AI ethics is kind of a dry academic topic, but the way you're describing it, it sounds like a call to action.
It is a call to action. And it's not just about preventing some hypothetical robot apocalypse. It's about addressing the very real ways that AI is already impacting our lives today.
Okay, so let's get into those specifics. When we talk about the impact of AI on society, where does Russell's work become most relevant?
Well, one area where Russell's ideas are incredibly pertinent is the future of work. AI systems are becoming so capable that they can do tasks that used to require humans. Think about self-checkout kiosks or those customer service chatbots, even those AI writing tools. They're already here.
Yeah, it seems like every day. There's a new article about AI taking over jobs. It can be a little unnerving.
Russell acknowledges that AI-driven automation could lead to job displacement. He's not saying we should stop AI progress, but he's saying that we need to think carefully about how we manage this transition and make sure people aren't left behind.
So what does that look like? What solutions does Russell propose?
Well, he's a big advocate for things like universal basic income, which could provide a safety net for people who lose their jobs to automation. He also talks about investing in education and retraining programs to help people adapt to the new job market. It's about empowering people to thrive in a world where AI plays a bigger and bigger role.
It makes sense. We can't just ignore the potential downsides of AI. We have to be proactive.
Exactly. And it's not just about economics. Russell is also concerned about the impact of AI on privacy as AI systems get better at collecting and analyzing data. There's a risk that our personal information could be used in ways that we don't like or even understand. AI can be great for personalizing our experiences and providing valuable services, but it also has the potential to erode our privacy in ways that are hard to control.
Yeah, it feels like we're constantly being asked to give up more and more of our data. So how does Russell think we can protect privacy in this age of AI?
He really emphasizes the need for strong regulations and ethical guidelines to protect our data. He argues that we need to be very careful about what data we collect, how we use it, and who has access to it. It all comes back to that core idea of human-compatible AI, making sure that AI serves human needs and values, not the other way around.
Like we need to set some ground rules before things get out of control.
Exactly. And these aren't just issues for the future. They're impacting us right now.
It seems like the pace of AI development is just accelerating, so these conversations are more important than ever.
Absolutely. Another area where Russell's work is really relevant is healthcare. AI has the potential to revolutionize healthcare, from diagnosing diseases to developing new treatments, but there are definitely risks involved.
Yeah, I've heard concerns about AI making mistakes in healthcare, or even making existing biases worse.
That's a really important point. One of the biggest concerns is that AI systems could perpetuate or even amplify existing biases in healthcare. Right. For example, if an AI system is trained on data that reflects historical inequalities in access to care, it could end up making biased recommendations that further disadvantage certain groups.
So it's not enough to just develop AI systems that are technically sophisticated. We also need to ensure that they're fair and equitable.
Right. And that's where Russell's emphasis on ethical design principles is so important. We need to build AI systems that are designed to mitigate bias and promote fairness.
This feels like a perfect example of why that human-in-the-loop approach is so crucial. Having human oversight can help ensure that AI is used responsibly and ethically.
Exactly. Russell is also a big advocate for transparency. He argues that we need to be able to understand how AI systems are making decisions, especially when those decisions could have, life or death consequences.
That makes sense. It's about building trust and accountability. We need to know that these systems are working for us, not against us.
Precisely. And this applies to any area where AI is making important decisions that affect people's lives.
So it sounds like Russell's vision is one where humans and machines work together, each playing to their strengths.
Yeah, it's a partnership, not a takeover.
I like that.
It's not about AI replacing humans. It's about AI augmenting human capabilities and helping us to create a better world.
But as we've been discussing, that's not going to happen automatically. It requires a conscious effort to design and deploy AI in a way that aligns with human values.
Right. And that's why Russell's work is so important. He's providing us with the tools and the insights to make sure that AI is a force for good.
It's been really eye-opening talking about this with you. You know, Russell wrote a book about this called Human Compatible, Artificial Intelligence and the Problem of Control. I'm adding that to my reading list right now.
It's a great book. He explains these complex issues
Yeah.
in a way that's easy to understand and incredibly thought-provoking.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a question. If you could design an AI to solve one world problem, what would it be? And how would you ensure that it stayed aligned with human values?
That's a great question. It really gets to the heart of what Russell is trying to achieve, making sure that AI is used to create a future that benefits all of humanity.
I love that. It's about using this incredible technology wisely and ethically to solve the challenges we face.
And that's a challenge. That requires all of us to be informed, engaged, and proactive.
This has been such a fascinating deep dive. I think one of the biggest takeaways for me is that the future of AI is not predetermined. It's up to all of us to shape it.
It's a powerful thought. We can't just sit back and passively accept whatever AI is thrown our way. We have a responsibility to understand the risks and benefits and to advocate for AI that serves humanity.
It's almost like AI is this incredibly powerful tool, and we need to make sure we're using it the right way, like learning to handle it safely and responsibly before we, really let loose with it.
Yeah, I love that analogy. It's like we wouldn't just hand someone a chainsaw without making sure they knew how to use it safely. It's the same with AI. It has incredible potential, but it needs to be handled with care and with a clear understanding of the risks.
So it's not just about building cool gadgets. It's about really thinking about how we integrate AI into our world in a way that benefits everyone.
Absolutely. And the encouraging thing is that more and more people are starting to realize this. There's a growing movement for responsible AI, and Russell's work has played a big part in that.
It gives me hope that we can actually get this right.
Me too. It's definitely a reason for optimism, but it's also a reminder that we all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI.
What can we do? Most of us aren't AI researchers or policymakers.
Right. But we can all be informed and engaged citizens. We can ask tough questions, demand transparency from companies and governments, and advocate for AI that reflects our values. It all starts with awareness and education.
This deep dive has really been eye-opening.
Me too. It's been a great conversation. I hope our listeners are feeling the same way.
I hope they're walking away with a sense of wonder about all that AI can do, but also with that healthy dose of caution and a desire to learn more.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Well, that's about all the time we have for today. So thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the work of Stuart Russell. Keep exploring these ideas, have these important conversations, and help create a future where AI is truly a force for good.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
See you next time.